Hey, what's going on, guys? Just going over today's recap today. I ended up taking one trade today, and I ended up losing today, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm gonna be going over the setup, why I took it, what I was thinking, why I was taking it, and what I was feeling coming into the market today. So pre-market, like if we can see just over from the overnight session, what we've been doing, we are looking pretty bullish. To be honest, I was only okay. So look, obviously on the higher time frame, we're looking pretty bearish overall. The higher time frames, like 4 hour and above, we're trending down. We have been for the past while now. So I was bullish simply just because we were delivering from sell side, we were disrespecting bearish, and we were respecting bullish during this time. And what I was going to be bullish up to at minimum was this 4 hour unfilled gap that we had up here, which had New York lunch session highs, and even there's AM highs in it as well, right? So with that in mind, I was low key looking for longs at market open. I was looking for longs, um, and my key level for the longs was this 1 hour fair value gap that we had down here. Right, pretty simple stuff. Um, what I just wanted to see was just a little bit of accumulation pre-market, and then 9:30 to open, and for 9:30 to manipulate lower, and then start making moves towards that 4 hour unfilled gap above us. Right. So pretty simple bias, straightforward enough. If we want to see what happens is yeah. So we come down right into this gap, sweep out this internal structure to the left of us here. It was beautiful stuff. Lovely Judas swing on open, but the inversion was just a bit too steep for me to justify taking. I mean, I suppose you could have taken it maybe and gone for like a 1-to-1, which would have played out nicely. But it is what it is. So again, because I was bearish now since we came into this hourly gap, or this 4 hour gap, I was looking for shorts. So pretty simple stuff. Just because we've been trending overall, like we've just been bearish. I don't want to go against the higher time frame trend. So yeah, but in this moment we were bullish up until that gap in my eyes anyway. So at this point we had this. This is the trade I ended up taking, right? And now this trade was sort of bare minimum. It was kind of a bare minimum IFVG. It was a mech model setup, and I ended up taking this trade. Reason why I ended up taking this trade was because I wasn't really a fan of this trade until we took out New York AM highs, um, because it was a previous day high. It was a nice high that we wanted to take out, and it was inside this 4 hour gap. But we already had that manipulation because ES actually ended up taking this out. As NQ swept in. So we edged the 4 hour gap here and we left equal highs, as you can see, and then we kind of chopped around a little bit. Well, not chopped around a little bit, but we stalled for a minute, and then we re-sweep these highs. And when we did this, we had an SMT with New York AM session highs. And I ended up taking this 1 minute inversion. As you can see, there's two 1 minute gaps here, and these are the highest time frame. There's no 2 minute. It was just yeah, no, there's no 2 minute, no 3 minute. This was the highest time frame, and below us we had a unfilled 5 minute fair value gap. So my thought process taking this trade was cool. At minimum, we are most likely going to come to this unfilled 5 minute. So worst comes to worst, I'll get break even. So I ended up taking this trade with I think it was 4 or 5 micros. I can't actually remember. I lost around $470 today, and I was just gonna go for a 1-to-1 with this around here, break even here. So yeah, and my rules are one trade a day. So basically, there was the things wrong with this trade was pretty simple, and it was just the structure. Like we didn't really have any significant lows to take. It was just this 1 minute low that we had here, or this 2 minute, this just failure swing, I guess, or just a little swing lower here was the only target, and then the rest was just high resistance liquidity. So the market structure overall wasn't the greatest, which leads me to getting stopped out on this. I was fine with getting stopped out with this, but I definitely should have been more patient. And I'm also thinking of actually disincluding mech models from my trading. Now, that's not cope or just because I lost this. I was like, oh, you guys went there, blah, 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 blah. But my win rate with mech models has not really been that great. I don't know what it is. It's just I end up taking. I think the mech model is just a very hard model to really get down to like master, because you can be inclined to take a lot of trades like this if you're focusing on the mech model at times, because this is a bare minimum IFVG, right? And the mech model always kind of presents bare minimum setups. So with that in mind, I don't know. It's kind of hard to not take them sometimes. So I think I might just disinclude mech models from my trading altogether and just focus purely on PO3 with time-based liquidity and IFVGs. So obviously price action with PO3, uh, PDI or whatever you want to call it, accumulation, manipulation, distribution with time, and of course continuation models as well. 'Cause my win rate with continuation models is super high. I think I'm going to backtest Judas swings more because Judas swings, of course, are 930 PO3. So that is, yeah, that's just something I've taken away from the past while, especially through backtesting as well. Like my backtesting win rate is pretty high, but the trades that I usually end up losing on are usually bare minimum IFEGs, which is like uh, A plus on paper mech model trades, right? So with that in mind, I think I'm just going to stick to continuations and PO3s, which is I think going to be obviously my trade frequency is going to end up being a little bit lower, which is no problem because I will gladly sacrifice, whatever that means, sacrifice my trade frequency for a higher win rate, of course, because that's what it's all about. And then obviously I got reswept here, and then we swept out um, New York AM session highs, and then we had an immediate displacement right here. And I really, really wanted to take this trade because this was a lot nicer. And why is this trade a lot nicer? Pretty simple. We have like, my God, what a trade this is, because we have low resistance liquidity now. We have a lot more lows to take out. Right? We have this. We have these lows. We have these lows. Um, and the true manipulate like the previous day high. So you just manipulate out previous day high as well on both on the Nasdaq here as well, with more generated liquidity to the downside. This was definitely trade of the day. I wanted to take this, but I couldn't because my rules are one and done, and I'm not going to break my rules just to catch it on a trade because that is just instilling bad habits. Um, for me anyway, it's just for me personally, that's just my rules. That's just how I do it. I'm one trade a day. I don't take two trades a day, especially because I'm risking 1%. I'd not be willing to risk $1,000 in one day, especially on a funded account. So that was my one trade for the day, was this one. And yeah, I probably should have been more patient and waited for a clearer structure to form before I took this, but I really don't think this was a bad trade. It had good ideas behind it. The manipulation was 100% there with the SMT on New York AM session highs. It's just the one thing that was definitely lacking with this trade were the targets and the actual reasoning to move lower. Um, because obviously targets is everything. Targets and draws on liquidity are everything, and this has way better targets. And you go break even here, and yeah, whatever. This is a beautiful, beautiful trade. Great trade. Whoever took this today, if you took this, good job, because that is a great trade. And then I think from here we ended up getting another setup which presented itself, which was this right here. I think we had a 5-minute gap that opened up here. Which I was looking at. Obviously, I was just looking here. I wasn't looking. Actually, I wasn't looking. I was off the charts by now. But we had this manipulation here. Boom. Beautiful. This was really, really nice. This wasn't bad, to be honest. But there was one thing kind of bad with this, is that um, you are targeting high resistance liquidity here. But again, I feel at worst you're going to get break even on this trade. This is a good trade. So if you are wrong, and the break even is always just going to be the thing that happens here. And we also opened up a 4-hour gap at this time too. And if you want to pair this with, yeah, this doesn't really have any PO3 at all to it, to be honest. This is kind of just a continuation model to the downside. So I think this was this would have been a break even trade. But then, yeah, from there, we kind of just messed around. And then there's this trade here that came up as well. So this is a resweep in this 5-minute. I don't think this is a good trade. I think the original 5-minute, I think the two best trades of today were this 5-minute and this. This was the best trade of the day, for sure. This inversion at 953 was definitely the play that I wanted to be in on, but sadly I wasn't able to due to my rules. This 5 minute cont was definitely not bad. This one, however, is not that good because if we were going to actually be bearish here and we were going to move lower here, this was definitely the move that should have done that for us. Like, you do not want to be seeing a bearish setup get played out like this, especially when it's not with any time-based liquidity. There's no PO3 here either. When we have a bearish setup like this, you want to see, this is the one that you'd want to see play out. Because it's a perfect wick rejection off the 5 minute displacement lower. If this fails, I don't know, man. Like, especially where ES is. ES was in a horrible position here as well. It just looked like it wanted to go higher. If the first one failed, you can be kind of sure that this second one is not really going to play out that well either. Because this should have been the move if we were going to be bearish down to this unfilled 4 hour down here. This should have definitely been the move that took us there, not this. Because if you have a nice continuation model here, and then right after we just have a huge bullish leg right up, so that's just not really what you want to see. And of course this setup gets absolutely slammed, 0 ticks of profit instantly. And then I think there was one more short setup right here. Yeah, so there's this short setup here as well, and this short setup was just when ES re-swept out. Now this short setup's not terrible. It's a bit late into the session, but there are better targets here if you still think we're going to be bearish. I think we could have had an unfilled gap here as well. Maybe not. But you could have targeted, I don't know, where did this even deliver to? Okay, you couldn't really target much here. I'm not gonna lie. This wasn't really that good. It's just if these two setups are failing, like, do you really think that this one is gonna be the one that plays out? I don't know. Probably not, right? It's pretty late into the session as well. We're getting close to 11 a.m. here. It's not really a trade that I'd be looking at. I think the best two trades of the day were this 5 minute cont, and then the best trade was definitely this one up here. And this one was, it was, see, that's the thing. Like, it was an A plus, A rated setup for sure, and mech model setup on paper, but I don't know. Yeah, the targets just were lacking. The targets were definitely lacking. My thought process was kind of just, okay, at minimum here, I'm gonna get break even, so it's whatever. But that's kind of the thing, you know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be taking mechs out for a while. Only taking mechs that are super obvious. Like this one right here was super obvious. Really good targets here. Great trade. Um, but yeah, I think I just got to stop taking these bare minimum max setups when they get presented. I've noticed, like, when I do fade them and I end up just being patient, I get presented with like a nicer continuation model to the downside, or a time-based PO3, or sorry, just a PO3, like whatever it may be, a 10 a.m. PO3, whatever. It always usually just more probability laying behind, especially when we have generated more targets for us to take out too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, that's it. That's it. So that's it. One trade for today. Took an L, is what it is. Minus around $450 today. Unfortunate loss. Was it avoidable? Yeah, I'd say it definitely was avoidable. But was this a good setup? Yeah, it was. Honestly, it was a good setup. Would I take it again? No, I wouldn't. So technically, it wasn't a good setup. But that's just because I'm going to be leaning my focus away from mech models and just focusing on that PDI PO3 continuation model from now on. Just improving that win rate, because I know that's what I win the most on for sure, is those kind of setups. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's trade recap. Let me guys know if you took anything today, if you won or if you lost, or if just, yeah, if you won or if you lost, or if you faded everything today. Leave a comment down below. And yeah, if you want to talk to me personally, my Discord, Instagram, and TikTok will be in the bio of this video, so you can go check them out and give me a shout on any of those platforms if you want to have any discussions about trading or anything. So that's going to be it for today's recap, guys. I'm going to be posting a recap every single day on my journey to profitability. So I will catch you guys next week. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and that's going to be it from me. Peace.